What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome back to the Madden 20 Ratings Prediction Series, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Houston Texans, a team that I think overall is going to be very overpowered in Madden 20. In regards to a rebuild, they're probably going to be one of the bottom tier teams, considering they have so many good players, so much talent already in place. In terms of rebuilding, not a lot of work needs to be done, but again, if you're making a checklist of all 32 teams, they could be one of the top teams that you want to do first to get out of the way if your goal is to work through all 32 rosters. So today we're going to try to get a prediction of how I think the roster could shape up in Madden 20. We're going to start at the quarterback spot with Deshaun Watson. It's been no surprise across the channel that I'm a big fan of Deshaun Watson. Clemson is one of my favorite college football teams, even though that's weird to say because I'm clearly a Florida Gator fan first and foremost, but I do enjoy watching college football in general. And how many times I need to say this? I like because it's in Canada. We don't have a great selection of games. Try to like at least one team in every conference so that I'm not disappointed on Saturdays when the game slate in terms of schedule is not in my favor. And I like Clemson a lot. I've been a huge Deshaun Watson fan since he was a true freshman, and I'm giving it 84. I think generally speaking, he's a talented quarterback. 4,100 yards, 26 touchdowns to 9 picks, 550 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. And this is with the worst offensive line in the National Football League last season. I think that he doesn't get enough credit. I think that he could be overrated in some circles, depending on how you review him. But I think he is, he's a quarterback that should be rated fringe top 10. I think I would probably have him as high, absolutely, when he's like on fire, maybe 8th. As worst, 15. He's between that 8 to 15 range and can definitely play like a top 10 quarterback. I think if you give him a good offensive line, he's really going to be able to elevate his game to the next level. And hopefully that is the case with how the Texans handle their offseason. So I'm giving it an 84. I think he should get a rating between, understanding that Madden 20's ratings are going to be completely skewed, really, really different. He could be high 70s. I personally would have him somewhere between 80 and 84. At running back, we have Lamar Miller. We're going to give an 84 overall, 1,100 yards from scrimmage, 6 touchdowns last year. He's a polarizing guy. He gets the yards. He's not a game changer. You're not going to see too many games Lamar Miller truly does take over. So he's a tough rating. I feel like 84 is fair given what we've given some other running backs that have similar, have broke that century yard mark in a given season. So I feel like, he's 82, 84, somewhere in that territory. And they got a lot of other running backs beyond that on their roster, but Lamar Miller is going to be your guy. Fullback, they don't got one right now. DeAndre Hopkins, I'm putting him in the 99 club. I think he's the best wide receiver in football. He's quarterback proof. Before Deshaun Watson, he was amazing. Now with Deshaun Watson, he's even better. I think that obviously the debate's between him, Antonio Brown, and Julio Jones. For my money, give me Hopkins. Give me the fact that he is the most quarterback proof out of all of those players, and the fact he's a human highlight reel, constantly comes down with clutch catches. I think he definitely will be a new member of the 99 club. We have Will Fuller, who is one of the best deep threats in the National Football League. I'm giving him an 83. He only had played in 7 games last year, had 500 catches, 4 touchdowns. Just do simple football math. Double that in a little bit would have been hypothetically his full 16 games. So that's going to be, 1,100 yards, 9, 10 touchdowns, somewhere in that range. So I feel like 83 is a good spot for Will Fuller. Kiki Kuche, nice slot option for them. We'll give him a 74. Definitely trending in the right direction as well. Could be a nice little sleeper for your fantasy football leagues. At tight end, probably the weakest spot on their team. I thought they overdrafted Akins last year to UCF. Kahale Warring could be a sleeper to emerge as their top tight end this year, but it's just not a great group of guys. They just have some solid players. No one too exceptional. Like I said, keep an eye on Warring. Offensive line, they got Matt Khalil trying to turn his career around after he was vastly overpaid by the Carolina Panthers. They got Titus Howard, their first-round selection, who I actually kind of like, but it's going to be tough to give him much higher than a 70 overall rating. Good player. Hopefully it works out. In real life, he's better than his rating probably will indicate originally in Madden. He should be a guy that could very well emerge as a starter. Hopefully emerges as a starter on the offensive line. One of my best call-outs during last year's mock draft process. I predicted Houston Texans would draft Titus Howard, so that was pretty good considering a lot of people thought this pick was coming out of left field. And I think, honestly, if he has a good training camp, with the investment that they made, they're expecting him to start sooner than later. So we'll give him a 70 with maybe, a quick dev trait, star dev trait, maybe something to help him out there. Left guard, you have Kilamente, just bang on average. Nick Martin, 74. Hopefully there's a little bit more upside there. Zach Fulton, we actually gave him a 79. That could be, honestly, that's a little bit too high. Given how bad that offensive line was, we'll give him the -2 penalty, which is what I do for a lot of players when we just need to dumb them down just a little bit. Oh, my God. Okay, no one should have in the 80s for pass blocking on the goddamn Texans. So 76, I think that's more of a fuller grade. But, he was really good with the Kansas City Chiefs, versatile offensive lineman. So 76 is not too harsh, I don't think. On the other side, Max Scharping, maybe my favorite pick for the Houston Texans last year. I honestly think he's going to be a starter, be it guard or tackle. One thing that was throughout the draft process is when a lot of players in the ACC in particular were asked about who's the toughest. I think it was Brian Burns, and I want to say, who was it? Brian Burns is someone else. There's two. Max Crosby, another guy, got drafted fairly high from the Raiders, edge rusher from Eastern Michigan. They both said, who's the toughest offensive lineman you gone up? And everyone was saying Max Scharping. There's a couple other rumors that this was a common answer was Max Scharping. He graded out very well from Pro Football Focus. Don't be surprised if he's one of the best offensive linemen on the Texans next year. We got J.J. Watt going back into the 99 club. Easy. Welcome back. 16 sacks, 18 TFLs, 7 forced fumbles. He's right there along the lines of Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox, for the best defensive lineman in the National Football League, if not the best. Well, I mean, come on, it's Aaron Donald, but for number 2, Eagle buys aside, J.J. Watt's probably number 2. I'd probably right now go Donald 1, J.J. Watt 2, Fletcher Cox 3. If we're talking about defensive tackles and 3-4 defensive ends. Chris Jones. You also throw Chris Jones in there from the Chiefs. Other side, I don't know. It could be open between Blackson. They got Charles Omenihu out of Texas. I think he'll get a decent rating because his athletic traits are very, very good. So it's, kind of open. But, when you have J.J. Watt, it's not that big of a worry. Inside, you got DJ Reader, nice nose tackle, almost 350 pounds. Can kind of actually be a little bit versatile on that defensive line. And the linebacking core, we have Whitney Merciless. We gave him an 81 overall last season, 4 sacks, 5 TFLs. He's solid at this given point in time in his career. That's starting to regress just a little bit. Inside, Bernard McKinney, we gave him an 83, and Zach Cunningham a 78. Great 3-4 linebacking pairing. Bernard McKinney, fringe top 15 linebacker. I think he graded out top 15 for Pro Football Focus. Last season, 105 tackles, 5 TFLs. Zach Cunningham, who's been really, really good. I've really rated him coming out of Vandy. Played a lot of good games defensively in the SEC when Vandy had no chance at winning. He had 107 tackles and a pick last season. Right outside linebacker, Jadeveon Clowney, will give him a 90 overall last season, 9 sacks, 16 TFLs. He's a TFL machine. I've already stated, there's the rumor and reports that Texas might want to ship on for him because they're not going to give him the money that he wants. I really want to see him in a 4-3 as a 4-3 end. I think that would be the best way to maximize his potential, just having him go against better, easier matchups, if you will. But he's still really, really good. I definitely think deserving of a plus 90, but just right around that 90 mark. In the secondary, you have Johnathan Joseph. Again, Pro Football Focus, I think they graded him as the number 10 corner. I'm slightly below that given his age, but still 84 is a really, really good rating for a guy that's kind of been underrated the last couple seasons. They got Bradley Roby coming over from the Denver Broncos. He'll get an 80. He was pretty solid last season. Didn't get a long-term deal, only a 1 year. Colvin here, who had some good up and down success with the Jaguars. He's all right. Interesting guy for height, weight, speed. Lonnie Johnson Jr. from Kentucky, 6'3", ran like a 4.3 something at his pro day, so he's going to be long and very, very fast. Definitely keep an eye on him. In the free safety spot, we have Justin Reed, who had a very good rookie season, giving him an 83. He had an 85 when the Madden 19 base rosters finished. I think that's just a tad bit high for a guy that had a good rookie season, not a great rookie season, especially if you're comparing him to, say, Derwin James, for example. But he was really good. 3 interceptions, led the team, 10 pass breakups, and 88 tackles. So I think 83 is a good starting spot. And some good depth there between Adai coming from the Chargers and Buddy Calhoun from the Browns. At strong safety, Deshaun Gibson coming from the Jags. He's pretty productive. We give him an 82. Grades out fairly well from Pro Football Focus. Fire Baron, good kicker. He was like my fantasy football kicker for a lot of last season. Give him a 79, made a lot of kicks. And Trevor Daniels, 72 as a punter. So there you go, guys. Those are my predictions for the Houston Texans Madden 20 ratings. If you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you saw here today, let me know in the comment section below. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.